got a shocking, I guess, new opponent for Cody Rhodes for the King and Queen pay-per-view that's happening in Saudi Arabia.
The Cody setup, I prefer. I might get some hate for this, but I prefer Logan Paul as an opponent for Cody Rhodes than I did AJ Styles. I just think he's got more dynamic personality. There'll just be a little bit more of a build going in, and maybe a tinge more of a chance that Logan Paul could win. Even though we all know Logan Paul is not going to win. Like, it is a guarantee Logan Paul's not going to win. This is the last match, though, that I'll let them have like this. This is the last match before I think you have to put a real heavy against Cody Rhodes, or else we're going to start having problems.
Because right now it sort of feels like a stop and go type of thing, right? It feels like, I don't know the official name of this race, but I used to do this as a kid when I was in track. There was the baton, right? So it was four people on a team, and someone would start, pass the baton, then stop again. You'd start again, pass the baton, and you'd go you'd until you finish the race, right? That's how it's sort of feeling right now with Cody Rhodes, where it's like, oh, we started with this AJ Styles feud, now we're passing the baton on to Logan Paul. Okay, well, who's gonna be the next baton? Instead of doing like a full story, we're just getting like, here's your opponent, which is good in a way, because you're seeing Cody Rhodes go out there and wrestle all of these different guys, but at the same time, it almost feels like they don't really have a real story for him at this moment.
And, Logan's easy heat, right? You throw him out there. You got the prime thing. You got the fact that he's supposed to be annoying. All these things that are already built in with him. And that's what they're preying on here, because they got the quick build to Saudi. They used him the last time, too. Remember, against Roman. So it's not a new thing for him to be over there and to be taking on the champion in this sort of showcase. And we know he knows how to put on a good show. So I think he and Cody will match well together. It will be a good show and everything like that. But when you actually break it down for the chance for him to win, but I will say, I'm more excited about this one than I was about AJ Styles. Not that there was anything wrong with that match. The match, we all knew the match was going to be
5 stars. 5-star match.
Not according to me.
That's what it got. That's what the official rating was. 5 stars. Congratulations, Cody and AJ.
Are those official?
Yeah, it got rated 5 stars.
Yeah. I just don't know what qualifies as official when you get dubbed a 5-star.
You're like, it's not 5 stars for me. I thought it was a really good match.
Oh, no question.
The Backlash match was phenomenal.
How is that phenomenal. And Roman and Cody isn't 5 stars.
Okay, say that again.
How is that 5 stars and Roman and Cody is not 5 stars?
Well, it just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just here to spread the news. It got 5 stars.
No, it was a very good match. There's no question about that. But I don't know. It just, the whole build and everything about it felt a little bland to me. This, I think, will get spiced up with Logan Paul. But like I said, after this, no more like biding time with Cody Rhodes. We need to make him a real champ. We need to have him face some real opponents, feel some real danger, be under a real threat, because we can't just, kick the can down the road till, say, SummerSlam.
Yeah. Okay. So let's break this down, because this is basically what happened. Nick Aldis just said, I brought you out here. I got your opponent for you. They played us music. Logan Paul comes out, and I'm doing this thing of Logan Paul, because legitimately, I think he was like the last person I was thinking of. I don't really know who I had at the forefront of my mind, but I wasn't thinking Logan Paul. But I will say this, though. What I did like was the back and forth on the microphone, because Logan came out there and he's being like bad and bougie, and he's talking about how he's had the greatest rookie year in pro wrestling. And when he says things like that, it gets under your skin, because it works, right? Because you know that that's not true. You're like, yep, that's not true. He did not have the greatest rookie year of all time. And he knows he's going to piss off these like hardcore wrestling fans, that when you ask them like, oh, hey, like, who's one of the people that had the greatest rookie years of all time, the common answer that you're going to get is Kurt Angle. And so he's like doing little things to piss off the fans that works really well. And so Logan Paul comes across as, this arrogant, self-centered a-hole. And I was kind of worried for a second that Cody wasn't going to have like a good comeback to Logan Paul, because sometimes it just really depends, right? It really depends. Sometimes Cody really comes out with some cool stuff, and some other times you're like, oh man, this person won, especially when you saw him against Roman and The Rock, right? But in this case, I loved it that he just flat out said, you're a dumbass. And that popped everybody, because that's what people love to see Logan Paul as. And so I did love like the back and forth with the verbal jabs at one another. I thought that part was really good.
Yeah, there's just more to work with here than there was with AJ, where it's like, oh, we have mutual respect. We don't actually hate each other, and we know who's going to win this match. Like, and in this case, I think with Logan Paul, you hit the nail on the head. And there was other little things he said, like, I'm the longest reigning champion in WWE, even though we all know, all these titles just change hands. Rhea Ripley got hurt, or else that wouldn't be the case. A weaselly thing to say. Not to mention the one thing that they can do to elevate Cody here is 2 belts, because I think he talked about winning the Triple Crown
So
or whatever.
here's okay. So I want to clarify this because I think some people might be a little confused here with this, Robin. So as we know, we're going to be having champion versus champion. Now, usually, unless they state title versus title, it's usually just Cody's belt on the line and not Logan Paul's. So here's the part that I think got confusing because in the promo, as you heard, Cody Rhodes mentioned that he was going to be a Grand Slam champion if he won the US title from Logan Paul. So that almost made you think that it was going to be title versus title. However, later on in the evening when they announced the match again, like when they ran through the actual the card and everything, the graphic, they only said Cody's title. So I'm not sure what happened there, but you see what I'm saying? Like there was
Yeah,
some
but
discrepancy. So I'm taking it now as it's just Cody's title on the line. And I don't know why Cody said the US title portion of it if that title's not on the line.
he tweeted 2 belts also,
Are
like
you
45
serious? So then
45
did
minutes.
commentary make the mistake then?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because that's what I was actually basing it off his tweet more than anything else, because I was like, oh yeah, that's what they're going to use to make Cody bigger off of this, is he's going to win the U.S. Championship, and he did tweet out 2 belts, alluding to
Okay,
that Grand
so
Slam.
this is where so when the promo first happened, they made it seem like it was title versus title, and I'm like, okay, great, that makes sense, cool, it adds more intrigue. And then when they ran down the match, they only said Cody's title. So then I'm like, okay, so it's just Cody's title. And now I find out that he tweeted the 2 bout things. Okay, well, I don't think he would have tweeted that and said it on the promo. I even thought he just messed up. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Okay, so then commentary messed up because commentary did not mention that the US title would also be put on the line. So there we go. We've clarified that, at least on our end. And I'm pretty sure WWE will clarify it at some point. But with that being said, that changes things a little bit because now there's no way Cody's losing this match. Like, regardless, with or without the 2 bouts, title versus title, Cody was not losing this match, Robin. So now we're going to get to a position, though, where we've seen this story, we've seen this film play out before with the champion with 2 belts. And so if Cody wins the US title, which he is, how do you feel about that?
Well, again, I think it's like a way to try to boost Cody up in this process, because the whole chase for Cody was everything. It was all about really the journey more than the destination. Some people say the journey is better than the destination, or the more important thing. And in Cody's case, I think that was the case. It was about his journey to get to the championship. Then he won it, and everybody was celebrating. Everybody was happy. But it was, where do they go from here? And the AJ Styles match was a foregone conclusion. It feels like this Logan Paul match is a foregone conclusion. So how do you put a little extra spice on the win? You give him another championship in the process, and then he can figure out what to do with it. Maybe he doesn't, keep it, or maybe he does. Maybe he holds both of them for the entirety of this time, or maybe he decides, I'm going to be a benevolent defending champ. I don't need this belt. Let me decide some gimmick that's going to happen to go after it, right? Oh, all those options are on the table, but I think more than anything else, it's a way to try to add a little spice, a little punch to his title run that hasn't quite had the same, rallying around it that it had post WrestleMania, a couple months out.
Yeah, so, I don't know what this I really wish we weren't in a situation where it was title versus title because but then again, it's Logan Paul. You're not necessarily missing out on him not being US champion because he's had how many defenses? Really not that many, right? But if I don't necessarily want to see Logan Paul drop the US title to Cody Rhodes when it could have been done in some totally different way. And he could have dropped the belt to somebody else, like an LA Knight or literally anybody else that you're trying to get over on the SmackDown side. So it almost feels like we're doing too much on one side right now with Cody's story because there's nothing else. And I feel like that's a little bit of an issue for me. I feel like they're working themselves into a corner where, again, all of a sudden, he wins the US title, he has his championship. Again, he does not need the US title. So, what do you do then? Like you mentioned, there's options. I don't care about any of those options.
Yeah, to me, you got to get Gunther or Randy Orton or somebody like that involved at that point. Maybe that's the King of the Ring final, right? Like Gunther, Randy Orton. I want to see that match. Just saying it, I want to see that match. It sounds epic and awesome in my head, the way I could see it playing out, the way I could see those two balancing off each other, and they feel like legit threats to Cody. Give me a Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton banger, or a series of matches between Cody Rhodes and Gunther, and then all of a sudden we're cooking. Then all of a sudden we're cooking. Like I said, you can't. Here's the thing: you can't always have your foot on the gas, like all the way down. Sometimes you have to, go through the side streets or through the neighborhoods and slow down a little bit. You can't always be on the highway, fast and the furious in it. So I get it. I give them a little leeway. You have to have programming. You have to have events, and we're gonna run out of options if you exhaust them all so quickly for Cody. But now this is it. My patience runs out post King of the Ring. Logan Paul's a nice, cute idea. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna annoy people. He's gonna have a good match with Cody. Cody's gonna win. After that, I need to see what Cody's about. I need to see who they're bringing to Cody, and I need to be pulled in because
Right.
it can't feel like I always know what's going to happen, and it's sort of just bland and there to pass time. And that's where I think the likes of Gunther and Randy Orton come out.
Yeah, no, I think you made some really strong points there for Cody. And as for me, again, I would have really liked to see Logan drop the belt to somebody that worked their way up to actually like earn it. And therefore, you can have another successful champion on the show instead of seeing someone with two belts. When again, they do not need the two belts. With that being said, I feel like they're almost like it's easy to get away with this too because we're talking about King and Queen of the Ring. All right. That's not really a big pay-per-view. And then on top of that, it's in Saudi Arabia. It's gonna air like at 10 in the morning. So a lot of fans here are either like pass, not gonna tune in, or people have complicated feelings about that show anyways. So I don't know if that just makes it easy to just like, it's not SummerSlam, so we're not gonna complain because it's not a big show that we really care about. But again, I don't know. It's interesting to see where we're at. And I do agree with you, Robin. I do hope that after this, we're moving on to a bigger and better story for Cody Rhodes. But in the meantime, I'll have fun with these little promos between Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes. I hope you guys enjoyed that clip from my podcast, Speak Now Pro Wrestling. If you did, you can check out the entire podcast by clicking here. And don't forget to subscribe.